Welcome back to my YouTube channel, guys. Today I'm going to be building the train from Steel Ball Run, which is Jojo's Bizarre Adventure Part 7 in Minecraft in my Forever World. So I already gathered most of the blocks for this build and sort of have a rough idea of what I want to do with it. So I'm going to start off by building the tracks of the train, and I sort of wanted to make it coming out of like this cliffside over here next to my base. And if you guys haven't seen or read Jojo's Bizarre Adventure Part 7, I highly recommend it. If you can't tell from my profile picture, it's one of my favorite anime, and I wanted to put it in my Forever World. So yeah, also if you want to use this video as a sort of tutorial, feel free. If you want to do it in your own Forever Worlds or in creative or anything. And I also built this custom landscape in a live stream that if you want to rewatch that, you can. If you also want to take inspiration there. I think episode 2 just came out and I haven't watched it, but I should get around to doing that. I didn't really like part 1 as much as I did in the manga, or episode 1 as much as I liked it in the manga. But it's fine. Usually the anime isn't as good as the manga. I started reading part 7 right before I graduated, and I've just been in love with it ever since. So actually I think I'm going to build the tracks above the ground. I think that was my original idea. Alright, so I'll make them coming out like this. And it's going to be a pretty long train track, so I gathered a lot of resources. And I'm hoping it turns out how I want it to. Alright, so that's it for the rails of the train. Now I'm gonna use these stairs to make I don't know what they're called, but yeah, the other part of the railroad tracks. Alright, so I finished adding in all the stairs, so I'm gonna go in with mud because the train in the manga has like mud surrounding it on top of the actual landscape, so I had to gather a lot of mud for this. I'm sort of just gonna randomly alternate between these. Alright, as I'm finishing up this part, I just want to tell you guys a little bit about the world. So I built this, so I created this world about 3 or 4 months ago and decided to call it my Forever World. I'm coming up on 1,000 days soon, so I will be doing a tour, so stay tuned for that if you're interested. I'm hoping I could finish up the builds I want to do before that time. Alright, so now that the rail is complete, I can start on the actual train. So I have like a little reference photo picked up or selected. And I also looked at a couple of Pinterest photos as well for some more inspiration. And I think shelves are gonna look really good on this. So let's see what I can do there. I really like how these grindstones look for the wheels of the train. Alright, and then I'll throw the roof on. And I'll add these little windows as well in the bottom. I don't know how I feel about this. I think it needs to be a little bit longer. So let me extend it out just a little bit. This is what I managed to come up with for the first little train car, and it looks a little bit strange, but I think once the whole thing gets put together, it'll look a lot better. Alright, here's the second one done, and I really do think it makes a difference when it's not at an angle like this, because I think it looks a lot cleaner. Was add the doors in to the side. These are actually pretty accurate to how they look in the manga as well. Alright, and then I'll start on the third one. I keep like placing the shelf inside the shelf when I try to place them next to each other. It's getting really annoying. Alright, so that's the third one done, and for this next one I'm gonna make it sort of open, because in the train there's like this open section where all of the people stand and watch. Alright, here's the design for this one. It sucks that the fences and glass panes couldn't connect. I didn't know that was a thing when I made it, but I think this next one's gonna be the last train car, and then I will work on the front. Alright, I know I said that was gonna be the last one, but I think I'll just add one more to make it look a little bit more grand, I guess. Alright, so there's the last train car done. This is like the caboose, I think you would call it. So now I'm gonna work on the front. Install these chains in between. Sort of nervous about this next part. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do this, but I'll just see what I can do. I don't use blackstone a lot in my builds, which is one of my favorite blocks actually, so I think it's because I also don't really build in the nether. Alright, I finished a small little section and I don't think it looks too terrible. I got these blocks of coal in there as well. Oh, you said good luck. Cause I said good luck. Yeah, I don't know what I built, but this looks sus. Alright, so that's the train done. This still looks a little strange, a little bizarre, but I'm gonna get to the part that I think will really make the build come together. Alright, so this is the completed build. I'm really proud of how it turned out. It didn't actually take me that long to make this whole it didn't actually take me that long to make this whole thing because even though I made it all the way down, it wasn't that high, so yeah, I'm pretty proud of how this all turned out. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and the build, and have a good rest of your day.